there might be stretches that are like, I mean, I'm talking 600-700 yards. I mean, people, you know, it's not like you get this isolated patch and you're talking about, you know, 25 to 50, you know, yard stretch. I mean, these are large expansions of grass on the Potomac. And when I pull up to a grass bed, believe it or not, the first thing that I do, I know it sounds crazy. I've written articles about it. First thing I do is I get if it's unfamiliar water, I'll shut the motor down. You know what I'm doing? I'm listening. You're like, what are you doing? Well, I'm listening for that sound. You know, it literally sounds like Rice Krispies, like when you pull milk on. People are like, what is that? Well, what it is, a lot of times, it's small fish, bluegill, brim, you know, crappie, whatever. And what it is, they're feeding on small invertebrates, little scuds, you know, little grass shrimp, you know, beetles, little water boofing, little small animals. And what happens is you start the whole food chain at that point. And once you have the bluegills around, it can be even crawfish. I mean, I've seen crawfish crawling the stalks of hydrilla. I mean, right now, I mean, they're really chomping on crawfish. But once I listen and I hear that, I'm like, okay, this looks good. Then now I have a visual. What I'm looking for is, you know, active feeding fish, you know, minnows kind of skipping across the water. Once I see that, I'm like, I remember we're talking, I mean, there might be stretches that are like, I mean, I'm talking 600-700 yards. I mean, people, you know, it's not like you get this isolated patch and you're talking about, you know, 25 to 50, you know, yard stretch. I mean, these are large expansions of grass on the Potomac. And when I pull up to a grass bed, believe it or not, the first thing that I do, I know it sounds crazy. I've written articles about it. First thing I do is I get if it's unfamiliar water, I'll shut the motor down. You know what I'm doing? I'm listening. You're like, what are you doing? Well, I'm listening for that sound. You know, it literally sounds like Rice Krispies, like when you pull milk on. People are like, what is that? Well, what it is, a lot of times, it's small fish, bluegill, brim, you know, crappie, whatever. And what it is, they're feeding on small invertebrates, little scuds, you know, little grass shrimp, you know, beetles, little water boofing, little small animals. And what happens is you start the whole food chain at that point. And once you have the bluegills around, it can be even crawfish. I mean, I've seen crawfish crawling the stalks of hydrilla. I mean, right now, I mean, they're really chomping on crawfish. But once I listen and I hear that, I'm like, okay, this looks good. Then now I have a visual. What I'm looking for is, you know, active feeding fish, you know, minnows kind of skipping across the water. Once I see that, I'm like, I know it's game on.
Right.
And that is very, very important when I look for on the Potomac as far as, you know, picking out a grass bed. Now, when I'm looking for in the grass, it could be holes in the grass. It could be where, you know, a man can, you know, come out the water and kind of open up the grass when he fed on a bluegill. Believe it or not, it's funny. It's like sometimes it's where a lot of guys have caught fish, where they kind of expose the holes and they cut up the grass. There's so many little finite things I look for in the grass. A lot of guys do just, it's more than just getting, you know, a spur frog and going out there and just winging that thing, you know, 200 or 300 times.
Yeah, I know, like, a big thing that I even look for is some frog lines to see if there were other anglers that fished that slop.
Exactly. And, you know, a lot of times that's a key telltale sign of what you need to look for to really, I love frog fishing. I mean, it's almost like, you know, figuring out a crossword puzzle. You look for little signs or when I was in school, when I was in middle school, even elementary school, they had these games and you had little clues and stuff and trying to figure out. And that's why I look at frog fishing. It's like, you know, you look for these little clues and little telltale signs that can really help you get on those fish. So, and, you know, it's like me and a crankbait, we probably don't get along too well. But, I mean, you give me a frog in my hand and I'm pretty dangerous. But, I mean, it's, you know, what you feel confident in. You know, I tell everybody, you know, just you know, when you feel confident and you do your strip, there's guys that come to the Potomac River and they might be crankbait guys, and they'll go way up north where grass is very, very limited, and they're structure guys.
Yeah.
There's guys that will go south in those creeks like the Quad Creek. Some of these are household names, the Quad Creek, Man and Woman Creek, you know, Aquan River, you know, where Scott Martin won his tournament. You know, and that's another tour this year. You know, they'll go to these creeks, and one thing about what Scott Martin does, speaking of another tour was down here, you know, is you get these grass beds, you know, before everything's kind of topped out. These fish, they get scattered once you get, you know, 20, 30 troll moves. I mean, it literally looks like a Navy fleet out there. Some say he's on the boat. You get 20, 30 guys on a grass bed, and what it does, it kind of isolates them, and they come out of the grass, and they go to this isolated stuff that's away from the main grass, and that's what Scott Martin done. You know, he got away from the crowds, and he actually used the crowd to his advantage. And every time, you know, some guys were catching fish, you know, he kind of predicted where these fish were moving because they'd shut off and they'd move to the area where he was. And, you know, that's what he done. And it's the same thing with frog fishing, believe it or not, too. I just got to get in the grass bed, you know, they see me catching fish, and they move in, and I just, you know, move to another piece of the grass bed. And a lot of times, that's what helps you, too. A lot of times, you know, using crowds to your advantage, it really, really, really helps out. And,
right. Well, right now here in our studio, I'm holding a Spro frog, and I wanted to ask you, what colors do you like to use when you're frog fishing? Do you match the hatch? Do you prefer blacks or greens?
Yeah, I've heard several different schools of thought when it comes to color. I've heard, you know, hey, when it's sunny, throw, you know, a white bottom or a white frog. When it's, you know, darker, throw a darker frog. And I really kind of believe in that myself. I think a lot of it is just, you know, matching up with what you have as far as sunlight condition. I find the very first thing early in the morning, I like to use, you know, there's several different colors. Number one, I think there's like 16 different colors of the brown-side popper frogs, and then you have like almost like 25, 26 colors of the original brown 60 and 65s. You know, the color I like really use first thing in the morning, I start with like Navy Seal, which is kind of a black and blue. Rainforest Black is like an all-time favorite. I mean, that's probably my barometer when I tell them first thing in the morning, that Rainforest Black. Black Widow is a great color. Leopard is a pretty neutral color in my opinion. I mean, it can be used in the morning and the late, like 9 o'clock. I mean, it's a great color. You know, I have a lot of sunlight, then I'll go with the original albino, which is just all white. One color that's been very, very, very good to me is Nasty Shad, which is kind of same color as, you know, some of these other companies will have, and they call it Sexy Shad. It's kind of like they call it Nasty Shad. Has actually been pretty good to me. One thing that I had discovered that helps me out, believe it or not, too, frog fish is pretty popular, so as well as it is, you know, Gunnersville. I believe they had a tournament in Gunnersville this weekend, and there was a spring tournament. The one thing I would do, I customize about my frogs, and my partner on we fishing Club 17, he's like, man, I don't want to go waxing on a frog like that. I'm throwing pretty much the same color. But what I do, I customize about my frogs. There are so many things that you can do to customize frogs. I've seen stuff from, you know, get those little googly eye things that you can buy at Walmart for dolls and stuff like that, little craft stuff.
Right.
And I've seen people put eyes on them, like literally